We're recording now. I guess I'll
Shit.
start a Al dot Kadib recording too. Auto City.
Um,
Al da
all right.
T. Al da Shitty.
Yeah,
Uh,
auto shitty. Let's do it.
I'll try. How do you do it? Do we count?
It hasn't been that long, man.
Everything is a flat circle.
That's true.
Not just
Too many
time, just
flat circles.
just everything has become
Oh
one flat
no.
circle. And I'm a square. I'm a rhombus existing inside the flat circle.
That sounds like it would be
Well,
an ad for IHOP. Right at the end. Everything, where everything is a flat circle.
yeah, I just have no idea. I don't know. Apparently, Ron White's supposed to be like the cool one of the fucking blue collar people, but he always seemed like a fucking idiot to me as well.
Right,
I
they're
don't
all
know.
fucking stupid.
It's relative scale. It's like I feel like I hear like kind of like New York and LA comedians be like, Ron White's a real one, like, and I'm like,
Right.
why? Like it's like he's vaguely
Right.
less like sort of conservative or something, maybe.
This is a trademark kind of take where you pick out something like that and you go for like the one that's like least offensive to like the mainstream whatever issue you have with like the blue collar comedy tour guy. You have to pick out one of them, and then like the hipster take is to like champion that.
Yeah,
Actually, where
yeah.
you go, actually, when the real answer is to actually go for all of the blue collar comedy people to go like, actually, the most talented one is Larry the Cable Guy, the one that everyone makes fun of as and thinks is the stupid. This is the like how they do the midwit, like low dimwit, midwit, and then like galaxy brain thing. Like the
Yeah.
dimwit is just like, I like the blue collar comedy guys. Jeff Foxworthy is funny. The midwit is like, actually Ron White is kind of baller. If you pay attention, the real enlightened is Larry the Cable Guy is the most talented performer out of all of them, even though you think that he's the dumbass because it's all a fucking character.
Hey
And
guys.
like you kind of like, hey, what's up?
Sorry. I had just I had looked at my Audacity while we were recording, and I realized that not only was I recording myself, but I was also recording all of your audio because I'd had a weird
Oh, that would
audio
have been a
setting going
real
on.
whoopsie.
And
Huh.
I was like, that's not right. Why is it getting everything?
Just get rid of it.
All
All
right,
right,
cool.
everybody ready?
All right, but I have
Okay.
to finish what I was saying about
Yes, yes.
like I
Larry
said,
the Cable
the,
Guy is the best
Larry
because
the
it's a
Cable Guy
character.
is because it's all a character. So he's not just doing all that stuff, even though it's stupid. He's also in character. So he's actually the most talented performer out of all of them, because most people fall for it and think that that's just the real guy. Anyways, let's do this. He's like Andy Kaufman, basically.
Dan Whitney's actually the Andy Kaufman of my generation.
Yeah. Press the like level the audio so it's all about the same rate. I figured out how to do that now. So I
Sweet.
just ran it all through that real quick. So yeah, I'm actually putting some effort into editing.
I was
Pretty
looking
good.
at an Audacity thing the other day that had nothing to do with podcasting, but I'd read that if you want to like study or not be distracted with music, it should always be played at 100 hertz. So I was looking
Oh,
at how to convert all of my music to 100 hertz so that it would be background noise.
yeah. I only listen to music on 100 squirts, which is 100 women have to be squirting on me while I listen to music.
That's
It's
that
the only
seems
way
like
I
it's
can
hard to
appreciate it.
arrange.
Yeah, it takes a lot. That's why I don't listen to a lot of
That's the
songs.
only way you don't get distracted.
That's the only way I can focus
Interesting.
on the music.
Keeps me focused.
That's how I know that she's having a good time too.
Yeah, you can really tell. It's proof. It's proof. It's proof that you're being pissed on.
Now people say that squirt is pee, but how is that possible when we all know pee is stored in the balls?
So that means when it's actually piss. It's not gay. It's not gay. It's piss.
Yeah, I'm just saying women can't pee. Is all I'm saying.
This is the new, speaking of comedians from the old days. This is the new Sinbad bit. Women be shopping.
Women can't pissin'. Anyways, here's your sign.
Also, he abandoned in California, as Arnold would say, years ago.
Oh, is he a Texas man now?
Oh, are you talking about Elandra? Elandra Blaze? Yeah.
I call him the muskrat.
Yeah. I like to call him Elmo Muskrat, and I know that he sees it, and it makes him very mad.
The funny thing is that it does make him really mad, but I can't bring myself to do that kind of cringe, fam.
How do you know he sees it?
Because he's got Neuralink in his brain. It sends all of those messages directly to him, because it works good.
Yeah, that one guy can like play chess with his brain, and he's also like bleeding out of all his orifices all the time. So it's working out well.
That sounds a lot like my life.
I occasionally check back in on that guy to see how fucked up he's gonna be at some point. So far, he seems to just keep saying it's really great, and he's so thankful to the Messiah for this chip in his brain.
The Musk-siah?
The Musk-siah.
Speaking of, do you know the rapper T.I.? You ever heard about that
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. He was always rapping about like
Yeah.
graphing calculators.
What you know about that? I know all about that. Turn my swag, oh yeah. Anyways, one of his kids is named Messiah.
That's not going to give him a complex.
Well, but here's the thing. The motherfucker makes music, right? His name is Messiah, but he goes by Buddy
Awesome.
Red. Your fucking real name is Messiah, and you're like, I gotta pick a stage name. I can't be Messiah.
That's awesome.
Okay, I see.
I gotta go by Buddy
dig
Red.
it. I think it's a good choice.
I mean, that's almost exactly what you would expect someone who's been named Messiah, like what they expect.
That's
them
like
to
Gigi
do.
Allen, right?
It's just like go in the opposite direction type of thing. Like, what's the lame ass
Gigi
fucking
was
name
Good
that
God
does
Allen,
not
right?
glorify me?
Good God, Alan.
All right. Yeah, I'll say the thing, so it feels like the thing is thinging,
Sure,
thinging
yeah.
nicely.
If you must.
You should edit that into the beginning.
The thing bit.
Yeah.
Heat death.
All right, thing bit.
Heat death in a half shell. Heat death power.
You know, since I probably listen to this podcast more than anybody on earth, I remember a lot of like dumb little shit. You've definitely said that one before.
Probably.
Nice.
It's on the podcast somewhere. One of the
That's
old
what I wanted
episodes.
for the theme song, but you weren't into it.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to pay like homage. Sounds like a Ninja Turtle getting its balls stamped
It
on.
does. It's like a Michael Bay Ninja Turtle getting its balls stepped on by an Eastman Ninja Turtle.
That's what they would sound like, really, or maybe grimdark it up more, like fuck, what's his name?
Snyder.
Snyder. Yes, thank you. Zack Snyder's Ninja Turtles would be just howling.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that watches the ring lights permanently sear into the pupils of the atomized masses, staring down the barrels of the front-facing cameras as they shriek and beg and death rattle into the void of clicks and atrophied dopamine receptors. It is 12:35 in the afternoon, Korea Standard Time, Saturday, February 8th, year of our Lord and the Snake, 2025. Here is the voice of Josh. Over there, yonder, Los Angeles way, Tim Gash Patel Buckner. I forgot about it. Surprised me to see it again. Good one. Gash Patel Buckner, everybody.
Yeah, I'm always happy to be back on the only podcast that's trying to get some USA on RD. How you doing tonight, Josh?
Even better after the USAID bit.
Yes.
Also, today, special guest, also in the Korea Standard Time Zone. In fact,
What's up?
a neighbor of mine. Jason Newland, co-founder of this very podcast in the storied ancient past of 2020.
That was so long ago. I'm basically a different human now.
Well, you're still an executive possessor of the open door pass.
I had to come on when I heard that they were actually going to cancel USAID beef. Because that's like the only beef that I like to buy.
All right. Start off strong with some
Yes.
USAID humor jokes.
I like it.
It's USAID, right? People don't say AID. Come on.
Some people do say it that way, and that's how I've been hearing it in my mind.
That's so awkward to me. It's USAID.
No, the reason why is because it's one of those weird acronyms where they're intentionally like combining letters. So it's supposed to be like it's USA, like, you know, the United States of America, and then it's ID to make it like aid. But that's why people are then just saying it because they're stupid, I guess, because people are dumb.
Everyone knows it's us suffering and inflicting damage.
Yeah.
Well,
Emotional damage?
definitely not everybody knows that, but we'll get to that in a second here.
But you did mention Los Angeles, and someone did ask me about the fires. The fires are officially out. It's been raining in LA. And I do have to ask.
Was it hard?
It's terrible. It's hard rain. It's acid rain. It's tough to deal with. I did want to ask, is it just me, or is it everyone who's like constantly in a state of searching for like the one magical umbrella that's like somehow big enough? I assume it's the most expensive umbrella that's like the only one that's going to actually make it so you don't get wet in the rain.
I have like that German style umbrella. I think it's German style that's like sloping on the front so it like blocks the wind.
Okay.
Never tried one, but they look cool and they're supposed to work really well.
I think because I'm stupid American pig dog, I always think I want the biggest umbrella, and that's what's going to solve
yeah, like
it.
a golf umbrella, yeah.
But what I really probably want are those bubble umbrellas that you see people use that like go down all the way to your waist.
Those are probably
like
better.
those are probably the ones that actually work.
Those probably work really well, yeah.
And that's what I need to think. I need to think about myself. But instead, I always want to get the big one because I want to be able to cover everybody. Because I'm a big tent. I'm a big tent lib, and I'm trying to cover I want to bring everybody under the umbrella. But no, what I need to do is have my own personal bubble umbrella that's just for me and my riches.
When I was a stupid American, I hated umbrellas. I just refused to use them because I went to my by God car, which is only like a hop, skip, and a jump away. And I got inside my protective little shell and drove away.
You kept your car on a wallet chain. That's how close to it at all times you were.
Yeah.
Basically. No. Where do you park your car?
Nowhere these days.
Car hole.
People do. That was something I noticed the other day when it was snowing here. Is like a lot of people, bust out the umbrellas, and like it struck me as weird because people just don't do that in America. And then I was wondering, like, do people do that in America sometimes? But I just
not for snow.
I don't think so, right?
The snow thing is weird for me.
But then you think about it, it's really not, because like I was saying to my girlfriend, I was like, oh, it's kind of funny to me, like as a
you
dumb
don't get
pig
wet
American.
the same way from snow, though.
It's not in the same way,
That's
but
true.
if it's
I don't get turned on for snow.
If it's snowing really hard, though, it is just water, kind of. It's a future water. But anyway.
No, it's like the Holy Trinity. It's all three at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Umbrella Corner. I was going to say why not both about the bubble and the big. Just get a huge bubble shaped one.
The big old bubble.
Yeah.
What if it was really big and it had multiple bubbles that hang down inside of the
human centipede like?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't describe it that way personally, but yeah, I guess.
Or like a kinetic energy one that only activates to like hit each individual piece of rain before it hits your body.
That sounds...
like like an iron dome, if you will.
Yes.
I was thinking like a nano suit.
Okay. I'm kind of big. I don't think I'll fit in the nano suit.
Well, a macro suit.
Yeah.
Well, so much big news once again, folks.
I really feel like it's been slow the past 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's a good point. For the past three weeks, it felt like everything has just been like normal and good. And nothing exciting or interesting or bad has happened.
Yeah, nothing ever happens, trademark symbol after it. But no, actually, some things are happening still, believe it or not. And the biggest news of the week has to be Joe Biden signing with powerhouse Hollywood agency.
Ka! That's the name of the agency, right?
Talent agency.
Yeah.
Ka. Yes, Ka. The Creative Artists Agency, because that describes Joe Biden, doesn't it?
I've always thought of Joey Boy as a creative type.
It's fucking incredible. It's incredible that like the standard issue practice, this is how you do it thing of like, well, after however many years in politics, and then you like our president, then you cash out and make money, like, in the private sector doing whatever bullshit, like that. It can't even like, they can't even like throw a fucking a wrench in the gears when it's like the oldest, deadest man of all time, like Sleepy Joe. Like the idea that you're like, well, this is just what we do. Like there's this motion machine that we just can't stop it. The way it works is once you're not president anymore, you have to go into something else where you just cash out and make money off of it. This man he is not president. He stopped running for president in the middle of it because he was too old and people got sad. And now they're like, the only thing he can do is talk for money. The only thing we can do with this old husk of a man now is put him in front of people and make them pay to see it. Like he's some type of freak.
Imagine if he did like a nightly show, like this talent agent,
Amazing.
and it just turns out that he's actually just fine, completely able to communicate, and he just does like a fucking Jon Stewart show. He's like, what the fuck?
He's doing like Ellen style dances and shit with the audience, live audience.
He's doing like Friar Club roasts, like with the Rat Pack. He's like Dean Martin up there. He's just got the zingers.
That is more his speed for sure.
Yeah.
If he wasn't the deadest man alive.
But he has like Ellen as a guest pretty often.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I'm sure like
Here's
what Joe Biden needs is to like get sides and memorize lines and shit, like, because I mean, of course that's probably not what anyone's planning, but like when I read the headline, this immediately my thought, because this is like a Hollywood talent agency, thinking of like doing actual acting. Just the idea of Joe Biden being on the set of anything with lines to remember, it's just funny as fuck.
I mean, honestly, I just skipped right over that article because it was right at the top and I didn't notice it there. I thought the next place was where it was starting.
It's all right. I don't read most of these either. It's all about the headlines, baby.
In this day and age, I'm just like, signing to like a Hollywood powerhouse, that could just mean that Joe Biden signed away his like likeness to AI. He's like, yeah, if you want to use me as an AI figure in your like next Disney movie, cool beans.
Or his life story or whatever.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, in reality, it is probably something more boring like that, obviously. I mean, unless my prayers are answered and some TV or movie production team is trying to get Joe Biden on the set.
Yeah.
A reboot of like a reboot of Mari. Only Joe Biden.
Oh, doing a DNA
Yeah.
paternity test.
And half of the babies end up being hunters. So he's
Try to find out that. Make sure nothing fundamentally changes by the end of the episode.
Mission accomplished again, America. Another little ass fucking every day. So yeah. And then I thought about like just contrasting this with like Obama's like huge Netflix boon or whatever, however many millions of dollars he got with Netflix.
What did he do for like? What was his show on Netflix? Did he actually make a show?
I think he just puts his name on stuff. He's just a producer. He
Oh,
made
cool.
that movie that the Mr. Robot guy did that I wanted
At
to
least-
like. But
I like
yeah.
Sam Asmal usually.
He made a sort of Here Comes the Apocalypse style family drama survival movie. It's very libified.
If you're really rich and you want to spend your money on making films, I'm okay with that. That's better than like making new drones.
I mean, he's still doing all that nasty shit, I'm sure, too. I'm sure he's got investments that are not so great for the world.
All I know is that I still blame him for, well, a lot of the past 10 years, really. I blame him for the past 10 years. It's one of the places where me and my dad agree.
I mean, he gave us Biden, for one.
He gave us Biden. He
Yeah.
gave us Trump to some degree.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you could argue honestly that
He took Bernie away from us. And I know there's some problems with Bernie, but I think that overall we would have been in a much better place had Bernie been able to run instead of Hillary. I still believe that.
yeah, for sure. But
I mean, yes, of course.
I was going to say you could really blame Obama for Trump in the sense that
Yep. Yeah.
Trump has said that like what like provoked him to run for president the first time was Obama mocking him at the
Right.
the White House Correspondents' Dinner thing. He got real pissed about that. It was like, and it just became this like, I'll show you all revenge, school shooter
Making
revenge
fun of
fantasy.
Trump for like bankrupting all of his casinos, right? I mean, that is pretty amazing that Trump bankrupted like 7 casinos, mainly because he built them all right beside each other.
Is that what happened? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a casino is almost like, it's really hard to fail at that business unless you just build too many of them.
Trump is like the anti-Midas touch, right? I mean, he's put so many businesses into the ground. That's his whole thing. He still ends up walking away from it richer than before.
I'll tell you what, boys. I really miss Trump steaks. I don't know if you ever got to eat a Trump steak, but oh boy. If you got to cook one at a George Foreman grill,
Oh no.
a George Foreman grill, Trump steak, little A1 sauce, you can't do better than that.
I mean, that's haram, man. You can't use you got to use fucking ketchup, and it has to be burnt. That's how you eat a Trump steak.
They come burnt.
Okay, so you got halfway
Become
there, and then you
pre-singed.
ruined it with your libbed up fucking DEI sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Is A1 a lib sauce now? Shit.
Yes.
I mean, it's not ketchup is the point, which is the mega sauce for steaks.
Okay.
It's red like the hat.
I'm out of tune.
You never heard that Trump liked to eat like burnt to shit steaks with ketchup? That's
I
like
knew
his-
that actually. Yeah.
Moving on to the next bit. This is actually the shit that everyone won't shut up about, and I guess for pretty good reason. Mr. Musk,
say that-
fucking hell. Yeah?
Oh, I was just going to say this next bit could like personally impact me, like just a small amount.
How so? Get into it.
Well, because I'm trying to move into like more like international school teaching, but withdrawing U.S. aid workers means that there's a lot less international school students, which means there's less positions.
I can see that the trickle-down effect there, yeah.
So Musk once again is trying to fuck up my life.
But also...
Personally,
Sorry,
my
who?
life.
Who's trying to fuck up your life?
Musk. Musk has been trying to fuck up my life for a
Who?
long time now.
I'm not familiar with this.
They call him Elmo Muskrat.
Sorry,
Elmo
Musket Rat. I forgot his name
Yeah.
for a second there.
Anyways, yeah. He's trying to kill you personally.
He is. It's a really awful thing. Like, one time I'm on a player versus player server of Diablo, and I just easily kill him and take his loot. And he's mad at me forever.
He'll never drop it. He'll never drop it.
You're in good company, Jason. Fucking Brace Belden also couldn't pronounce Diablo the other day.
Diablo.
You took it to a new level though. Diablo.
I like that.
Diablo.
I did like Diablo.
Isn't that how you say it? Diablo.
It's Diablo, man.
Honestly, though, like that feels like Midwest excellence. Like saying it that way is like Minnesota.
I don't got nothing against it. It's just funny.
Regency.
I like it.
Diablo. Oh, you know Diablo. Yeah. That is hitting it. Yeah.
But don't label Jason a Midwesterner. He's a proud Tennessean.
I know.
I'm a Davy Crockett boy.
He
I
doesn't
guess.
cotton to the fake South, neither where Musk is from. That's maybe where your beef came from originally. Well, the muskrat has seized the treasury. He's doing coup. He's giving coup. Serving
Give a
coup.
coup a bad name.
Yeah, coup d'etat is not good anymore, according to liberal America, at least. Hands off our data is the lib protest sign that just came off, struck me as so impotent, which is a word I might end up using several times in this episode today, but
Yeah, what a dumb sign, because, like, he already has your data. I mean, sure, the treasury data, that's a little more, but honestly, I think in ways he gets more data from just having Twitter.
The Google Ads thing that they say, where it's like that they can, we can like scrape the data to the level where we can be like, this phone is in this house at this time every day, and they interact with things in this way, but we can't tell you for sure that it's this person who lives at this house.
Well, we could tell you, like, within a 99%. I mean, the behavioral data that they have is crazy.
They do this thing where they say we can't officially say that it's this person, but this person lives here and they work here, and we've got the data on them on this phone that goes from here to here every day at this time from 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you know that it's just that person. It's just connecting the dot. The only difference between the data that you get from the government is that you already just connect the dot and you go like, oh yeah, it's that guy. It's that guy because we have it officially with his social security number and his ID record from the government. But we've already got all the rest of the data. Like you said, we've already got all the fucking information. They just don't have like, oh, you can officially say it's that person or whatever.
I'm in agreement with all of that. So why should I be worried? I've given up on personal privacy a long time ago.
Me care? Yeah, right. I'm not worried. I'm not going to tell you how to worry about that. Who fucking cares?
Worry?
We're all going to be dead in a couple of years anyway.
Here's my dream. Like, the whole week when this was going on, I was like, please let them fuck up and delete the ledger. Please let them fuck up and delete the ledger.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm praying right there with you, buddy.
I'm just like, fuck it up. What if you like 20-year-old interns? We're like, oh shit, we just deleted like the database, loans, everything. Just deleted. Fuck, no backup.
Yeah, but what they're gonna do is be like, okay, we don't have the specifics anymore, so this is what we're gonna do. We know that like the entire total that every American owed in debt was this much, and there's this many Americans, and we're just gonna divide it by everyone, and we're all gonna just pay it off together. We're just going to do it together as a team.
We're just going to divide it all among the people who didn't vote for Trump as a punishment.
Exactly.
All among the people who voted for Kamala.
Yes, do that. Do that. Please do that.
What did you write in, Josh?
Fucking nothing. I didn't do shit. I was going to
you
go
didn't vote for
PSL.
president?
I was going to go PSL, but I've never voted for president ever. I've voted twice in primaries for
I voted
Bernie,
for Jill
and that's
Stein,
it.
so I'm good. I voted for Jill Stein again.
You're in the
so my
clear.
conscience continues to be clear for the past half decade of
Mine's
voting for
clean
Jill
as a
Stein.
fucking whistle.
Voting for a losing party? Look, if there's one thing I know about politics, you don't vote for parties that are trying to have a voice.
Damn.
Facts.
That is facts and logic.
I want to just point out this little detail I saw in this article about the so basically after the I mean we don't really need to get into the fucking nitty-gritty. This shit has been talked about to death, but there's just some like little reactions to it and whatever that are maybe worth talking about. But this article in the Commie Rag, the continuation of the Daily Worker, the peoplesworld.org, covered the there's some protests they describe as mass protests. I don't think it was even all that big, but whatever. At the treasury, outside the treasury.
When those protests sit around the house, they sit around the house. If you know what I'm talking about.
I mean,
yeah, Mama's so fat.
it's not like a local
bring it back.
gig, but it's got a few people out.
But the description of the protest, this one line here made me laugh. Okay. So, and Musk doesn't, blah, blah, blah. No one, okay. I got to read the sentence before though. And Musk doesn't have to tell you what he sees, what he's looking for, or how he'll use your data once his Doge team grab it. No wonder a handwritten protest sign read, "Hands off my data, you fascists!" In caps. In caps is a separate...
Oh, in caps?
The in caps sentence is its own sentence. And there's just something about it as the after, like... And it was in caps. Like, this is as hard as lib protesting could go, is capitalized letters.
On a sign? on a signboard? You're telling me they did all caps on a sign? For me, usually when I'm doing a sign, when I'm just writing out on like a poster board that I'm going to hold up, I'm doing all lowercase. I don't know about you.
You got to be one of those.
I try to use like the least offensive letters I can find, and I found that English letters are a bit offensive all the time because of like the history of the English language and how it's
and
like
misogynoir and stuff.
Yeah, it's basically just like colonized the rest of languages. So like when I do my my protest signs, I like to just use symbols like drawings, but not like drawings with personalities.
Pictographs.
Just like basic shapes. No, pictographs are a little too like on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want something that people can like look at and be like, oh, a circle, and interpret that as they think fits the situation for them.
Yeah,
That's how
it's
I
like
protest.
mood boarding. I get it. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
Mood boarding.
It's like fine. I thought you were going to say that you use Sanskrit, because to me, when I look at Sanskrit, it looks like it's very peaceful letters.
And that isn't a notoriously oppressed language.
Yeah.
We don't even use it
Very
anymore.
so oppressed doesn't exist.
Yeah.
When I read the thing that in caps, I just heard in my mind like a kind of Adam Curtis voiceover, like, and that's when the revolutionary fervor took over the libs.
Yeah.
It all changed then when they started writing "you fascists" in caps.
They should do their own Jan 6. I guess it's too late for that now.
I mean, we've been trying to will that into existence through prayer and I don't know, blood rituals for months, but yeah, I mean, some people were saying this is their Jan 6, that because it was like February 5th is the lib Jan 6, and it's more pathetic than people were even like making fun of what would happen.
It kind of rules the idea that like lib Jan 6 is like, 3 weeks later and no one remembers it. It's like, that's honestly perfect. That completely fits.
It's exactly what it should be, right? Yeah.
I'm really like... Oh, sorry. I just like... I lost what I was going to say there. I'm a fucking idiot. My brain wanted to say something. Then my brain was like, nah, man.
I was real mid-thought.
Thought I had it. I keep looking at that air traffic control situation. Makes me afraid to fly to America right now.
I like it.
Yeah, it is pretty fucked up. So like there's a whole mess of stuff, a whole Mesopotamia of things
we got a whole Mesopotamia.
Honestly, it's like the US is the contest with Korea to see who could have more plane crashes. Because Korea's had like 3 or 4 big plane crashes recently too. We're just like back and forth, like you're playing badminton between the two countries.
I think the thing about that is like it's easy to jump to, like I've seen people whatever online being, because like now there's been like 5 at least notable plane crashes, I guess, although like 2 of them were like
some of them have been
like
really small planes,
taxiing plane like on the ground, like, but
yeah.
So some people are like, oh, what the fuck, there's a 5th one, and it was like a small plane in Alaska, which apparently is like an infamous scenario for plane crashes. Like you're really like putting your life into your own hands when you get into a small plane in Alaska, apparently.
Well, no, there's a ton of small planes in Alaska. Like it's a really common way to get about Alaska. But also, yeah, I think they have more plane crashes just because of that.
Because there's more, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still a bad thing to be to have, 91% of air traffic control centers are understaffed at the moment in the United States.
That seems good. We're almost there. We're almost to 100.
Eagle-eared.
Yeah, I mean,
listeners.
we could see if airports really need air traffic controllers. Like, and after we realized that airports
experiment.
if airports don't need air traffic controllers, you know what that means? Perhaps highways don't need traffic controllers. And we get rid of the traffic police next. That'll make driving more fun. I'll get a car again.
And we could do cities.
What could possibly go wrong if millions of airplanes are in the skies around the world every day at all times, and they don't know where they're going?
Like, one of the big problems of modern life is the lack of laissez-faire air traffic. Because, like,
sure.
Why can't I just 3D print an airplane, go up there?
See what's going on.
I mean,
right?
we don't.
What are they hiding from me?
The thing is we don't know why, and that's why we got to do this experiment. It's
exactly.
It's for science. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like, Reagan kind of infamously fucked with the like air traffic control like unions in the 80s, but I think that was like kind of turned over pretty quickly.
I'm still unclear. Like, I know that Musk and Trump, their plan is to cut a lot of, like, 80% of government spending or government agencies or some bullshit.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do, yeah.
What is, like, the plan for, like, the money they're going to save? Where's it go? Towards
pockets of the people that were
America.
Yeah.
They're going to make, like, a giant pocket. That's cool. The capital pocket.
That was I can't remember where that was that I heard this. But yeah, there was someone who mentioned exactly what you're saying, which is like and I think it was a politician. It was like one of the good ones, it was like AOC or I think it was Elon Omar actually, where she said like they're not spending this money that's appropriated to these government services. So you Americans should probably like think about the fact that they're just stealing this money from you. Because they took the money from you in taxes, and they're not doing the government services that they're meant to, so where is the money going? They're just taking it from you. But it is, like, really quick for a lot of stupid people to, like, overlook that and just be like, hell yeah, let's get rid of woke and DEI and stuff. DEIA and all that. But, like,
the brilliant cover story.
That, like, yeah, but not be like, why the fuck did I... Like, why did... I still gave them that money. Like, where did it go?
Well, I did see that they're trying to introduce a new bill that says that employers cannot discriminate against people who declare to be Christian.
That's good, because I've been having a lot of problems with that. Every time I go to my... Yeah.
That's hard, right?
What you just said, Jason, was so stupid that I couldn't fucking register it in my brain for like a couple beats.
Well, it's DIE for Christians.
Like,
that's a bill that's being pushed by Trump right now.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I mean, you guys have been in Korea for a while, but you don't know what it's like here in America for a cis white male Christian. It's tough for us now.
I wear a shirt that says it's hard being a Christian. I get compliments all the time. God, I don't have that shirt, but I bet I would get a lot of compliments if I did wear.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
and I scrawled with a Sharpie "get" in front of it.
Yeah.
From tons of people I'm sure I'd want to be friends with.
get hard being a Christian. So yeah, like other important, like some spot where I like the MAGA chuds, at least some of them seem to be like, hey, that's too far now, buddy. Is like OSHA is perhaps getting axed. I mean, that's the other thing with what's going on right now is like nothing is. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing because I haven't read all the fucking articles on Earth, but it seems to me
USAID was like highly, like a lot of the workforce was drawn out of countries, right?
But my point is like
OSHA.
they're like they're putting a freeze on stuff, but like it's being talked about like they're decimating this, they've destroyed that. They haven't decimated really anything yet. I mean, it's fucked up what they're doing. Don't get me wrong, it's insane actually, but it's also just like everything with the MAGA movement, Trump, whatever. The through line is that it's basically more of the same, just way more fucking in your face. Because this kind of fucking around with agencies and money and personally enriching yourself, that's been the name of the game since the beginning of the country. Like, it's not that different. Like, but you know, if you listen to say Kyle Kalinske, who I've been listening to lately because he's the most palatable like lib voice I can listen to get a sense of like what's going through the lib consciousness right now. Even though, and he's palatable because he doesn't consider himself a lib, but he fucking
weird.
Is.
I just have everything read to me through Kamala Harris's AI voice.
Oh, that's fun. Does she cackle as well?
Great. Yes.
She just laugh at the most inappropriate bits in the article. But yeah, like there's a little overstating what's actually happened so far. Like USAID, you said, it's not gone for one thing. Yeah, let's talk USAID. That seems to be a big thing people are fucking freaking out about. So like the liberal stance, I think, is stupid because they're not acknowledging that USAID is like one of the biggest like sort of CIA, State Department cutouts, which it is. But other people who are like sort of celebrating it, who are aware of its function as like, a tool of soft power, imperialism, whatever, I think they're wrong too, because there's a front element to USAID, but that front is also like a real thing, the aid part. There is actual aid being distributed by this agency.
Yeah.
So that's fucked up that's frozen at the moment because literally it's like food for people who can't fucking get food, stuff like that.
Or hospital care for people that can't get hospital care, such as like, field hospitals and battlefields and etc.
Last week we talked about PEPFAR, the HIV AIDS treatment program. I don't know if that falls under USAID.
But I want to mention something very important.
Yeah, go ahead.
USAID is just global FEMA, and as you know, FEMA does nothing.
Do they? I mean, I've heard they've got issues. They've got problems.
I don't know. I'm just being silly. No, I don't. I've never really associated USAID with the CIA. So
well, it is.
Should have.
It is. It definitely is. Like that's the real element to it. But what I'm pushing back on is like there's some people, even like people on the left, like the real left or whatever, who are like, good, this is good. But like what I'm saying is, number one, they're not actually abolishing it. They've frozen it, and then the plan is to like just further have it subsumed by the State Department. They're just consolidating the soft power like mechanism of the agency under Marco Rubio's fucking blood-stained hands. Like it's not, so there's nothing to be celebrated either. But also there's like,
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say they're shrinking departments. They're consolidating departments. That they're kind of getting rid of it. They're getting rid of a lot of employees. It's going to like lose a lot of its current ability. Who knows what it'll have afterwards?
But I'm saying so like think of it this way. There's like two elements to what it is. There's the front element, which is actually helping people. So like it's cynically used to cover up what it's really doing, which is using soft power around the world to advance, disgusting American first style agendas or whatever, or, America first in scare quotes. Muskrat first should be called now, huh? But then
Why
there's
would we want to give up that soft power?
because because it's like the stuff that like toppling governments around the world is made of. It like it's what finances color revolutions that like destroy people's lives all around the world for the whole time that America's been a superpower.
But what confuses me is why would they want to get rid of it?
They don't. That's what I'm saying. Is they want to keep the shitty part and shrink or freeze or get rid of as much as possible of the humanitarian functions.
Do you think they'll get rid of the part that's investigating Elon Musk for using Starlink to traffic people sexually?
I'm glad you asked. Someone sent me a link about that. Why don't you tell us?
That doesn't sound like something they would do.
So like my understanding of why Elon Musk was going so hard on USAID was mainly because the like investigative department of USAID who've been dealing with like Starlink in the Ukraine had like a lot of investigation among Musk and like his company for sexually exploiting like refugees from the Ukraine as like a side hustle. And for some reason, the guy who said he'd be fucked if the Democrats won was maybe try to get rid of departments who were investigating them.
Yeah, there was the thing with Neuralink too. Neuralink. He apparently terminated the position of one Phyllis Fong, who was investigating his brain implant company. So yeah, of course he's doing all kinds of shit to just personally enrich and whatever protect his ass. I think that's kind of a given, right? But
so I think the most interesting thing about all this is literally the most like at least to me blatant takeover of like the government apparatus by like an individual. Like he's basically just like bought himself access and like access that I didn't think was really possible to buy. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, it is. It's a bad look, and it's more than
security clearance is crazy. I've had friends in government, and some of that stuff is, at least at one point fairly protected. So I'm kind of impressed. I didn't think Musk had it in him, considering like the fact that he cheats at video games.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really see him doing any kind of strong arming stuff either. But this, as soon as he did it, I was like, oh, this is just. I'm like, some part of me is like kind of dismissing some of the hysteria around it because I think the hysteria is focused on the wrong things. Like, but I understand that this is not a good thing overall. But no, my first thought when this went down was just like, this just feels like meat space, real life bullshit he does online. It's like a epic troll. He's gonna paste memes all over the treasury. Maybe moving on a little bit from this. Yeah, you're right about the this group that he has with him is like all like early to mid 20s sycophants,
interns.
Yeah,
actually, I think the whole focus on their age and them being interns is kind of silly. I don't know if that matters.
I think it's sus. I think it's pretty sus to be focusing on how old someone is, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing you can think about is that they're young. I'm not, I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I just respect them as a person. It's not about how old they are. Maybe age ain't nothing but a number.
That's what I usually think. Especially about my age, which I forget often.
Or the age of my, I was like trying to think of the word.
Yeah.
My
one of your 100 that help you focus.
Of the 100. Yeah, how as long as they're, if there's grass on the field, you play ball. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
I've never played ball.
A bunch of these little nerds have not even had like basic background checks done on them either, which, seems reckless, especially since I guess they also have like access to the Department of Energy now, which is like where our nuclear weapons programs fall under.
Neat.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we were talking about it earlier. It's like, who are you going to trust with your data? The government? You want the government to be doing background checks on them? Or do you want, Elon, Elmo Muskrat to be the one who's like, he's got the data, he's got the real data, he gets that from the source through the,
Right.
through X.
He's doing special Musk background checks, Musk style background checks.
Do you really trust the bloated fucking lib? That you expect you think that those background checks are so sacrosanct compared
Well,
to
libs do,
Musk's
obviously, but yeah.
Well, of course. Not here. Not where we have true patriots who understand and respect
The Patriots are in control.
Damn sense. I'm pretty sure everyone on this podcast has drank from the frickin' hose at least once. Not like all these libs who've never even one time drank out of a fucking water hose. Yeah.
Is that a lib conservative thing? I thought it was like a generational thing. Or is it both?
Of course, it's all both. It's all the same fucking culture war.
Yeah, drinking out of the hose. Oh yeah, the other point about all of this shit is that
the polar ice caps are melting and we're gonna die soon.
You don't need to know anything else about what Musk is doing to know that it's bullshit, besides the fact that he has zero interest in reining in the Department of Defense, which is the most like crazed, bloated, corrupt.
Why would he?
Well, exactly, he wouldn't, because that's where he's gotten billions of dollars from. Like, just here you go. Here's some
they
money.
contract Starlink and SpaceX, and probably Tesla. But I know that Starlink and SpaceX have government contracts. Does Tesla have a government contract too? I don't know.
Probably.
Does
He has
Twitter
tons
have a
of
government contract?
contracts.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Might could be.
Gross.
And then this like little stupid story that one of the Doge kids, young guys.
It's so fucking dumb that they named this department after a meme coin. I think that bothers me more than it should, just because
No, it's really obnoxious when you really can like
so goddamn annoyed that they literally named a government agency after a goddamn meme. Life is just one fucking flat circle meme.
Yeah, it's. I mean, also, would you expect any less?
Not really.
From Elon Musk. That is probably the thing that got him most excited about doing.
We really are living in like the bad future of Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, and I'd say we've been living there for a while. Is another point that
Since
I'll probably
Reagan.
return to a lot over the next several years. But no, one of these guys, he resigned. I guess he didn't get fired, but he resigned because his racist tweets resurfaced, which seemed like the funniest reason to quit the Doge team. Like, your boss is the Sieg Heil man. So like the only thing that made sense to me of why he had to quit would be like Elon Musk just being like
his racist tweets though were saying that Indian people are superior to everybody else.
I saw someone guessing that it was the opposite, that like the only racism Musk won't tolerate is if you're delivering it at the H-1B1 visa slaves that he uses for his tech endeavors. No, my guess was that this guy did a Sieg Heil like while they were looting the treasury or whatever, and Musk got really jealous. Like that's my thing. He's just throwing like a little child's like temper tantrum. It tickled me to imagine him kind of crying and screaming and stamping his feet. That's my epic meme. I think we can move on to the next thing. Jesus Christ, that went so much longer than I expected. This happens every fucking time.
Of course.
All right, we'll try to blaze through some of this as well, because I definitely want to get to the thing at the bottom of the document as well. But
I've got a unique, Josh. I've got a crazy idea for you. The thing at the bottom that you want to get to.
We can go to it now.
I think you want to get to. Just do it now. Don't save it for later. Do it now so that you don't miss it ever.
I like that.
Yeah. True.
Breaking out of the paradigm.
That's a good idea. All right, let's do that.
Is the bottom the yellow part?
No, that's yellow means 99.9% it will be skipped.
Oh,
I guess is
I was real
how it works
confused.
in
I was
my
like,
brain
God,
now.
I thought the yellow part was like
I know
the
it's
real
not
important bit.
intuitive at all.
I see that you have dropped all of your user design expertise.
The documents continue to get more schizophrenic as time rolls on. So, other big news these days is Trump's insane press conference he did with Bibi Netanyahu, Bibi the Butcher.
Is he still alive?
Very much, unfortunately so.
Interesting.
He will never die.
He just, I heard some people analyzing it or whatever, and they were like, he looks really ill. Like, he's probably on his last legs. I'm like, what do you, some people were coming away from this thing with weird takes like that. And another one was like, actually, Netanyahu looks like really pissed off. He's like gripping the lectern so hard as Trump's going on.
I saw that one.
I just thought that
I was like,
Trump was planning on making a parking lot out of the Middle East. Airplane landing strip.
He's got bigger
casinos.
Yeah, I mean, there is this actual document called Gaza 2035 that Netanyahu had made up that shows, like, basically they're trying to do like the NEOM thing in Saudi Arabia, the line city or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to basically do like that kind of thing, but with Gaza in these like AI AI art pictures of it. And then one of the other things was like you could see like Teslas in the drawing. It was like a electric vehicle charging center. And then it also said like, we'll have all these types of things run by Palestinians. But it was like specifically low salary or whatever, I forget exactly how they phrased it, but it's basically like, yeah, we'll use the Palestinians as our servants and slaves in this Gaza 2035 economic development center. But yeah, what Trump said, which everyone I'm sure is aware of, just to reiterate, is that got to get the Palestinians out of there. Got to empty the place so we can build it up. He said so much insane shit in like that 10 minutes or whatever. Like it's classic Trump overwhelmed the enemy with a barrage of insane shit. Which is why I did pull up the text of it. But I don't know. Everyone's heard all of this probably 100 times, or at least I imagine that.
I've only heard it like once. I mean, I've heard it, read it. Not 100 times though.
But he's basically saying that with the part where he's like telling the truth is that Gaza is like unlivable at the moment, but where then he immediately loses that sense of reality by being like, so they just got to go away. Where? Countries, rich countries is like basically what he said. He's like, some other wealthy nations. He went out of his way to be like, other countries will pay for this, not us. but also the United States is going to own Gaza, his exact words or whatever. But like once you get past like all the sort of like shocking rhetoric or whatever, like this isn't going to happen the way he's describing it. I mean, Gaza is still ultimately fucked in the long run. It seems like he's just kind of distracting from the real reality of what's been happening the whole time under Biden. It's just continuing. He's just continuing business as usual, or it almost certainly will when like the second phase of the ceasefire is just totally, thrown off. Like if it even gets through the first phase, which it probably won't either. I'm not fingers crossed or whatever, but yeah, this is just, again, this is like to invoke all the cliches. This is just mask off, this is just bombast. This is just trumping Trump, but it's just a layer over what's already there, which is absolute hell and genocide. So kind of like nothing's really even changed. I mean, it's it's notable, it's surreal to watch him say this shit in public because it's just so wild. Like he's truly belting out the quiet parts.
I mean, it just reminds me of like how high school students would talk about war.
Yeah, he sounds like a child. He sounds like a fucking child when he talks about this stuff.
Why don't we just nuke that country and get it over with? Just get rid of all of them.
Well, that's the funny part too. Is he's kind of trying to be like, this is for the good of the Palestinians, folks. Why they shouldn't have to live in that? And that's how some people are characterizing this now. They're like, it's actually more cruel that you'd want the people in Gaza to stay in Gaza. You're the monster. We need to ethnically cleanse the place, kick them off anywhere, some refugee camp.
Yeah, look at how happy the Native Americans are.
That's what they really like. The real goal would be throw them into the Sinai and then keep bombing them in the refugee camps and build up Gaza as a, Zionist vacation land. But yeah, what's Trump's real angle here? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his fucking mind. But what it will amount to is basically distracting people from what's really the reality of what's actually happening instead of like what might happen. And there's just no fucking way there's going to be boots on the ground. At least that seems to be the consensus from people that I've listened to and tend to, I don't know, buy into their analyses of these things. It just seems very next to impossible. But like when the more people keep saying that, the more I almost feel like superstitious, like you're gonna jinx it, like because it's not that long ago that the U.S. did insane shit with boots on the ground. I mean, doing it Iraq, whatever, obviously is the big example of 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago now. But I don't know. I'm going to go with the line of, I don't think that's actually going to happen. And also because Trump himself is, the line you keep hearing about everything Trump says is like within 24 hours, the White House began walking this back yet again. So like his press secretary came out and was like, actually, what he meant to say is we need to temporarily move them out of the way so we can rebuild Gaza. Then they can come back. And that's what Bibi said as well in like after the fact interview. He's like, and he's also trying to characterize it as like, hey, I'm looking out for the Palestinians. They shouldn't have to live. That's the other thing is he's on the stage with Netanyahu going, the place is hell. The place is hell, folks. It's crumbling. It's like, how did that happen? They just he treats it like it's like this natural law, this eternal, like it's like a cursed. It's a Indian burial ground that just can't. Everything dies that you build on it.
You have to understand, it's the same idea for here, like. The idea that you point to the Palestinians and go like, look at that, they live in fucking squalor and shit and feces, it's the worst. It's because of them, they're the problem. And then he does the same thing here where he goes like, look at America, it's nasty and disgusting and we just have to point to the immigrants and be like, it's their fault. Like, he's blaming what's like systemic failure that's...
the same playbook, right?
That is being caused by the government's choices and all of that stuff, and being like, it's because of them, they're bad people and they cause all of the problems, as opposed to just, again, like overlooking what's really causing the issues.
Yeah, I think that's right. And that so then another like sort of reaction to this, like from the libs, is really gross. I don't know how much of this shit you guys have seen. I've only seen a pretty limited amount of it, but I just know that it's rampant.
I have not seen any of it, but could I guess?
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think I've seen any of it, but my guess is there's a lot of finger pointing saying, oh, look at you guys, you fucked up not voting. It's your fault that Trump is here killing all the people in Gaza now, because had we elected Kamala, we would have saved everyone. But you guys really did create a genocide, because what was happening wasn't a genocide. Something along those lines?
Yeah, you nailed it, man. It's really gross. And it's people who also, it's the same people who are like, could not give a shit about Palestine, beforehand. And so now there's like people coming out sort of playing pretend like they do care and they've cared the whole time, because now they can, put Trump in their crosshairs instead of Biden and Kamala, which is disgusting. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of like, told you so. They're just like, they're fucking end zone dancing, fucking dabbing on us, but they're not, because they're just like, like, it's so funny how much they're just like waiting for that moment to like, told you so about it. But no, I mean, if you look at reality, like, nothing Trump is just saying it louder. It really, it's like it's a cliche at this point, but I can't really describe it any other way. He's just crude and loud and talks like an 8-year-old about it. That's the difference. Otherwise, it's business as usual. Biden on October 8th was like, get him out of there. He's like, he tried, but he did it quietly, and he failed quietly. No one really talked about it.
Yeah.
He's like, Egypt, you got to take these Gazans. And they're like, fuck you, asshole. And that was the end of it. And that's the same thing that happened when Trump keeps saying, Egypt, take them off our hands. Jordan, take them off our hands. And he's doing Donnie Deal's shit where he thinks he can just... He really does believe he's got like the art of the deal touch to everything, and he really does not. I mean, just look at how he's failing with Russia and Ukraine right now. Russia does not give a shit about anything Donald Trump has to say. Maybe
you don't believe that Russia put him in power?
I was gonna say maybe Trump even is like unconsciously buying into Russiagate bullshit. He's like, why isn't it working? Putin's literally like rejecting his calls and shit. It's anyway, that's the side point. But so what else about this?
I think Putin's just jealous of Elon Musk. Feels like he was broken up with.
Yeah, I agree.
No, he just doesn't need. He's in a position of. He's in a stronger position to negotiate than the U.S. or Ukraine, for fuck's sake. Of course not.
You've just never felt cucked, I guess, because I feel like Putin just feels cucked by Elon Musk.
Putin is above all this shit. That's all I'm saying. Like he's doing his own thing. Like he doesn't. This idea that like Trump and Putin have ever been good pals is just not true. But anyway, another thing about like the press conference was like it was one of the rare times where Trump was like definitely just reading off of a script. But it sounded so crazy that I was like, who wrote this shit? And all I can think of is Kushner, because, Jared Kushner is like infamously, very...
Oh, not Grok? I figured it was Grok.
He's very openly talked about doing real estate wheelings and dealings with Gaza in the not too distant past. So
I thought that like... Jared and Trump's daughter was like out of it this time. Like they're not really contributing to the politics per se.
I mean, I haven't heard much about Ivanka, but Kushner's still in there. He's still...
Jared is her husband, right? I'm not making that up.
Yeah, they're married.
My brain says they're married. Okay.
They're married.
Why do they have different last names? That's so confusing.
I don't know, man. Because if your last name's Trump, you're probably going to hang on to it unless you are, yeah. It's a little more on like some of the reactions to all this. The New York crimes, the failing New York crimes, had a very... I thought theirs was to be like the tip of the spear, or whatever, for the resistance, but everyone seems really kind of just more rolling over than I remember it being in 2016.
No, it does seem way more just resigned. It could be that like in 2016, the Democrats had not completely like alienated all the leftists.
Yeah,
and like a lot of the organizing might have actually just came from like the leftists.
There's been a further purging for sure since then. The New York Crimes wrote, Trump's Gaza plan has many pitfalls, Hamas among the biggest. President Trump's proposal to, quote, own Gaza and transfer its population elsewhere has stirred condemnation and sarcasm. Not sarcasm, but it is an opening bid and could disrupt a tired diplomatic paradigm. See, they're looking at the silver lining here, guys, about ethnic cleansing, about blatant calls for ethnic cleansing and land grabbing. They're like, hear him out. What did the kids say? Shall we let him cook? As outlandish and unworkable as Mr. Trump's proposal on Tuesday may seem, it is no less than a historic resetting of decades of received diplomatic wisdom. It's a fancy way to say he's just screaming about all the evil that fucking elite class he belongs to does, said Chuck Freilich, a former Israeli deputy national security advisor. However unrealistic, he said, it may force the sides to reconsider the sides. It feels reductive. It may force the sides to reconsider long-held positions, stir things up dramatically, and lead to new openings. So it just seems like almost just a running cover for what Trump said, instead of just coming out and being like, the man is calling for ethnic cleansing. That's pretty fucked up since he's, the president, and then maybe digging in on how realistic it is. That's why I think a lot of this is just like designed to be sort of a distraction so people can argue amongst themselves about it, and then it'll disappear into the flow of the news cycle like everything else. Again, knock on wood. I hope I'm not, I don't want to jinx anything here. So yeah, it's like, as usual, it appears like liberals have more of a problem with Trump's tone of voice than what he's actually saying. Because again, Joe Biden said what amounted to the same shit many times. And that's always been the core of Zionism, is to completely expel everyone from the Holy Land and to, expand Greater Israel, whatever, since the beginning, since it was invented in the, late 1800s or whatever. And then on the flip side, conservatives, well, some of MAGA is actually not happy about this. I guess like maybe the more isolationist wing of the movement, where they don't give a fuck about what, what's happening to people in Palestine, of course, but their angle is more tax monies. We shouldn't be involved in foreign lands, period, whatever. But then there are a lot of people who are still just gung-ho, like taking Trump at his word, being like, all right, well, he said it must be good. Let's do it. Let's do this boots on the ground ethnic cleansing shit. So there are a couple literal front page newspaper items here. The Daily Telegraph, Trump in stunning Gaza takeover. Stars and strip. Big bold letters there. Stars and strip. The picture of Trump looking
stripping,
confident. I believe they're invoking the Gaza Strip there.
Oh, no,
but I thought the same thing when I first saw it too. I thought the same thing when I saw it.
We're all thinking about it all the time.
I think about it a lot. I imagine that he's a real hunk with his clothes off.
Sure.
It's nice that he wears a fat suit to make other people feel comfortable to him.
Right.
That would be so funny if that was true. The Australian newspaper, I assume it's from Australia, has headline, Trump stuns world with plan for ownership of war-torn strip. Ultimate Gaza gambit. So some people are cheerleading this, which is hilarious since I don't think Trump is even half serious about it. Yeah. He'll turn this hellhole into the Riviera. Trump's audacious plan for peace seems far-fetched, but is it? But is it crazy good or crazy bad? Yeah, it's speaking of ages, it's all 8-year-olds all the way down. Adults with eight-year-old vocabularies and brains running the show. But is it good or bad? Just don't give me all those words. Just tell me, is it good or bad? And I'll listen.
Yeah. I don't want to have to I shouldn't have to figure all that out. You tell me good, bad?
I think about that Theo Vaughn on Rogan thing that we've talked about multiple times in the podcast, where they're talking about TikTok in China and they're
right.
stoned Rogan and stoned stupid Rogan and the just stupid Theo Vaughn. What he said right in the beginning of it, I remember, because he literally said it like that. That's what I was referencing when I said it. Like, well, is it good or bad? That's what he said about TikTok, because he couldn't understand all the fancy words intellectual Joe Rogan was using. Well, is it good or bad? After he read all this shit from like the terms of service or whatever, and Rogan's like, bad. It's bad, dude.
It's bad.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. Do you think the Chinese even bury their dead, dude?
more
Think they
people
buried
need
the
to
dead
ask
dude?
Joe that question.
About the Chinese.
No, if it's good or bad, just when talking to him in
Yeah.
general.
It's about everything.
Just really put him on the spot.
Right.
He'll be our next president, right?
Joe? No. He's not going to take the pay cut, as they say.
Oh, you can podcast as a president.
Now you can. That's true. Good point. Good point.
Oh yeah, just picturing that now. You don't see studios in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
First president to openly blaze up on a podcast in the Oval Office.
Obama would feel so jealous about that.
I feel like I had a lot more to say about this, but I'm kind of hitting a wall with it anyway. I don't know if you guys
Sure,
have
sure.
anything else you want to say.
I think it's all fucked.
I think it's bad, personally. Not a fan.
I agree with you that it's the same. The messaging is louder, but they're doing the same shit.
Yeah. And yeah, the told you so, the stream of told you so libs are really infuriating. It pisses me off more than seeing like the dumb like MAGA chud headlines or whatever.
Cheerleading. The MAGA cheerleading.
But turning it into like a good, I'm glad, like, and that's what they were saying when, like, just when Trump won the election, like right after he won, they're like, huh, well, hope you're happy.
Bernie Bros did it again.
Uncommitted movement. How's your uncommitted vote going now? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad it's going to be turned into a parking lot. That's what they were saying over and over, and now they're just reiterating.
Josh, you're
that.
saying you don't like sore losers?
Yeah, I guess you could sum it up like that. Okay, then maybe the last bit on all of this is how Mr. Bibi Man, he gave Trump a golden beeper as a reference to the mass terrorist attack with the beepers, which Israel still hasn't officially
I forgot about that.
claimed to be their own, by the way, which is hilarious. Especially given that he's doing this beeper gift in public.
I mean, I thought the golden beeper was how they activated the other beepers.
It might be. He might have given him the very one. And then they just have like a little light, like laughing, like they're just like laughing about it. Like, I want to find the exact quote even if I can here. The golden pager, whatever, beeper, pager, beep, 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 boom, haha. Remember that? That was going around everywhere. People just loving it. Oh, I'm sorry. Did your genitals just get blown off by our beepers? Oh no. Terrorists. The golden pager could be seen mounted on a piece of wood, accompanied by a golden plaque that reads in black lettering, to President Donald J. Trump, our greatest friend and greatest ally, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. An Israeli official told the Associated Press that upon receiving the golden pager from Netanyahu, Trump responded, "That was a major operation." That was a good one. Good one, Bibi. So yeah, there's that as well.
That's a great just acknowledgement. It's like, I get it. That's all he said, basically. I know, I get the reference.
Yeah.
I understand the reference. That's all he said. He's just a fucking, a man-child watching Rick and Morty, being like, I get that joke. I register that humor. That's what he said. That was his response.
Baby, I'm always picking up what you're putting down, baby. Thank you for this wonderful gift.
Related to that, I saw a video of, I guess, in the same vein, people like making joke off of that. There's like a group that what they do is they put beepers in people's pockets. Did you see this?
No, but I fucking believe it. But no,
as a
I
joke,
that one
they
somehow.
put to like, to send the message like, oh, I think that you should be exploded. I think that you're a bad person who should be exploded. They put a beeper in someone's pocket to be like, get it. But the video, whatever that I saw was someone doing that to Norm Finkelstein. Someone being like,
Jesus,
you should have a beeper. Norm, you're a goofy guy. I don't agree with you, so I should give you a beeper so that they explode you. Yeah,
I'm actually surprised I missed that. I mean, that's the kind of thing that would be.
that's why I thought. I definitely thought as as soon as I was like bringing it up, I was like, Josh, you have to know this. Like, yeah, I would have assumed you saw this.
I'm surprised. Yeah, the last thing I even heard about beepers before this was when Mehdi Hassan went on MSNBC or CNN, one of the two, and some fucking rabid Zionist piece of shit was just like, "Do you want a beeper?" Like, because he was like cornered in like a bad argument, and he just tried to get out of it by threatening this guy to his face, and then it like, yeah, it was everywhere. That blew up. Pardon the pun. And what was funny about that is like it was like in real time watching like the thing unfold, where it's like a lot of these fucking right-oid idiots, Zionist fuckers, they like kind of talk tough a lot, but then are ultimately the biggest pussies. So that guy said that to Mehdi Hassan, but Mehdi Hassan was like, "What the fuck? Did you just threaten my life on television?" And the guy was so like embarrassed, and he just backed down so hard. He's like, no, that's not what I was doing.
That's not what it means. That's not what it means.
It's like, what else could it possibly mean?
Just be a
You
joke.
just bring up beepers.
No, it's just a joke. When I say it, it's just I'm just referencing the joke. It's not like that. But yes, of course, it's referencing people being killed. But it's just a joke when I say it. I'm just a small little guy.
So some hilarious Dem stuff here. They literally are calling their amazing resistance efforts. They're protesting outside the treasury, and I think I heard like very recently they're also doing it outside of the Department of Energy or maybe Education. I think I just heard it as DOE, so I don't know which one. But anyway, they're literally calling what they're doing "Stop the Steal." So it's like "Stop the Steal" Part 2. This time it's liberal. Is how I was hearing it in my head, and it's just like they're so awful. They can't even come up with a different name from the fucking thing that Jan 6 people were doing. It's so funny to me. But yeah, Chuck Schumer is just like, he's just putting out bangers like every day of like the dumbest, most weak, useless shit, including coming out and being like, "Hey guys, you like this Stop the Steal? That's pretty groovy, huh?" And they just got a new like head of the DNC who said this fucking stupid shit about how we only take money from good billionaires. Huh? You like that? It's just like, I don't know. It's just
Good billionaires.
The Democratic Party seems to be...
They get money from the same billionaires that the Republicans get money from. The billionaires give money to both parties. That's how government works. Citizen United. We just give money to both parties so that they, do what the billionaires demand. We've been in oligarchy for a long time now.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, Elon Musk gave money to the Democrats not that long ago, right? So
probably this election.
Possibly. I feel like that would have been... I mean, I guess you can just like anonymously give millions and whatever to people at this point, so who knows. Yeah, because like that was like the whole, like, I kind of forget that Musk wasn't on board with MAGA until like Jason, you were saying like it feels like a long time, but it's really not been that long. And like he wasn't there like from the start. Like he like was a convert, yeah, after the ear assassination. But yeah, this guy Ken Martin sucks so much. This head of the DNC, chair of the DNC. There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money. But we're not taking money from those bad billionaires. Again, everyone sounds like they're 8 years old now to me. Is it good or bad? Joe, is TikTok good or bad? Tell me. Also, there was a story in the New York Times entitled, "We have no coherent message." This was like a quote from someone, the Democrats. They're just saying it now. There was another one. It was that, I forget who said it, Hakeem Jeffries, I think, in some kind of press conference, was like, well, what do you want us to do? We have no leverage. He just said it like that. And then said, well, we're going to seek bipartisan agreements. Like, okay, you guys really got fucking nothing going on. And of course they don't, because, controlled opposition, etc. But yeah, no coherent message just immediately made me think of the Simpsons meme. We hate life and ourselves. We can't govern. Simpsons did it so long ago. There was another, I didn't even read this one, but I just threw it in because just, again, like we have no coherent message. This one was entitled Democrats Search for a Voice, period. Any voice.
They're just scared to be themselves. Yeah.
Anything. We'll take anything.
Just please.
It's
like
so
us.
funny.
Just
As
please
long
like
as
us.
it's not Bernie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jace. That reminds me. I've been wanting to bring this up for like weeks. I just kept forgetting about it. But I think the previous chair of the DNC, I can't seem to find the quote, but I heard about this multiple times, different places, but doesn't matter, whatever. They were, and this was something that you said, Tim, that I was like, that's insane. Like, I don't even think the Democrats would actually say that. The idea of John Fetterman's our man for the next election.
I've heard this too.
Oh yeah.
They're really saying it. That's crazy. He's just a Republican now.
Right.
But then in that same like interview or whatever it was, they're like, I think Fetterman could be a potential.
They could do Fetterman and that Virginia politician that was like the bad guy. What was the Democrat who was always voted no against everything?
Joe Manchin.
Yeah. A
I
Fetterman.
think he's out though.
That doesn't matter. He can come back. A Fetterman Manchin ticket.
Yeah, that'll be good. But the same guy was said, we don't want like the Bernie shit anymore. That's too woke. Bernie too woke. You can literally find articles written in like 2024 even that are like Bernie is like, not woke enough. The same exact
Right.
people. Like, he's actually racist and hates women. Don't you know?
I mean, does that mean that Democrats will finally start talking about class issue?
Oh, I'm sure that's coming up next. They got that cooking up in the kitchen in back.
Because the reason the Republicans won is because they talk about class issues, even if, like, they're not. Like,
Kind of.
no, I mean, they do. I'm not saying that they, like, help lower classes, but they talk about class issues, and they get you riled up. At least they point out that
Yeah,
it's
they're
going to
make your eggs affordable. Yeah.
Yeah. The next election thing that hit me, I came up with this somewhere like in a group chat or something, but it was just like, this is what's going to happen, is that if the Democrats wanted to win, was you do, 2028 and it's AOC, but she's just doing her gimmick. What she's presenting is girl rot. So she's playing, all of her campaign shit is her in a nasty apartment with a bunch of trash. And she just looks at the camera and she goes, America, we live like this. And that's the campaign. That's the campaign.
I actually
slogan.
love it.
Yeah. I think that would actually win, but that's
If
why
she
it
just
won't happen.
with like full brain rot, girl rot content. That would definitely win. I would vote for her. That's all it would take.
Everyone would. Yeah. But yeah, the campaign slogan being America, we live like this.
They'll never run another woman.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
I mean,
they won't do it. But
the Democrats will never run another woman for president.
not until Republicans win. Like, until there's a female Republican president, Democrats will not run another woman. Yeah.
Their choices of women have been like remarkably bad, but
Yeah.
My prediction on this, I just remembered now. I was trying to think like what would a funny candidate be or whatever, and then I realized I could see it actually happening. It's get Romney in there, give him another chance, put me in, coach. I'm ready. Now I'm ready.
But he's a Republican.
So what? They love that shit, man. Liz Cheney across the aisle, fucking reach arounds across the aisle.
That's right. They're all the same party. Forget.
Another funny thing. I mean, Romney was kind of. I mean, he's like been pretty consistently anti-Trump at the very least, low these many years. Another funny thing was Cory Booker giving this presentation. Like this is the shit that this is resistance. This is the resistance now. I'll just read from the article here. Mr. Schumer responded that Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey was in charge of Senate Democrats' social media and praised the job he was doing. Last week, Mr. Booker delivered a PowerPoint presentation to fellow Democrats about how to deliver their message online. In the slides, which were obtained by the New York Times, Mr. Booker offered his colleagues guidance on how often to post on each platform. Instagram, once or twice a day. Facebook, once a day. LinkedIn, 3 to 5 times a week. X, 2 to 5 times a day. TikTok, 1 to 4 times a day.
Jesus Christ.
We got this. Resistance. Patriots are in control. The resistance is in control.
Hell yes. Oh my God, that is fucking brutal. Like,
they're literally doing the thing that people make fun of, which is like,
right,
just post harder about it.
algorithm hacking. Like, the Democrat Party is getting to like 2025 level algorithm hacking. Like, these are the peak hours to post on each social media brand. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is where they're at? They're at like SEO optimization. That's the level of fucking what we're talking about with them. Meanwhile, again, you've got Trump, who's just like, he is the algorithm. He's the living algorithm. Like, that's the thing that people overlook about Trump, is that the reason why he works so good on social media is because he's got the natural brain of who social media is trying to reach. He's got the fucking brain-rotted grandpa mind, naturally, that all of social media is always trying to capture, so he just intuits it. He doesn't need fucking media training to tell him when you should post on fucking Instagram, when you should be doing your holistic booty selfies on Instagram to get the most attention. Trump understands it naturally.
It's true. He was born to post, grandpa style. And yeah, like I talk about all the time, like the formatting thing, the like spam email formatting of his tweets.
Yes, exactly.
Falls into what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did you see this string of Chuck Schumer tweets? There's a link there in the document. It's kind of, you kind of want to have to see it like all together to get the effect of it. So like Chuck Schumer was praising Cory Booker for that awesome PowerPoint, and then you could see that he was he was really following through on it. It's just this string of tweets that are like, "You're watching the Super Bowl next week." Space, new line. Wait till Trump's tariffs raise your pizza prices. Actually, you got to think of this in Chuck Schumer's like walking stereotype voice. Anyway, whatever. He just followed this pattern and just kept posting about it. You're driving to work. Wait till Trump's tariffs raise your gas prices. You're watching the Super Bowl next week. He just repeats the Super Bowl one.
Yeah.
Wait till Trump's tariffs raise your guacamole and beer prices. You're worried about car prices. Wait till Trump's Canada tariffs raise your car prices. This is so
That's
bad.
late. That is so lazy.
You're worried about tomato prices. Wait till Trump's Mexico tariffs raise your tomato prices. You're worried about grocery prices. It goes on like that.
Yeah. And so on and so
man,
forth.
He's doing the Lord's work. He also looks like he's having the best time, Chuck Schumer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him? I think I have that here as well.
He probably is having the best time.
Oh yeah, his we will chant.
We will win.
We
We
chant,
will.
rather.
Yeah, it's perfect because it fits with the same vibe of the tweets. It's just repeating the same fucking thing over and over again, and there's nothing to it. It's like, damn, this he's got his brand. He's built his new old man brand. He's ready for his contract post being fucking leader of the house.
Yeah, he's gonna be a star. He's gonna host SNL.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. When Chuck Schumer is hosting it, what does SNL stand for? Semitic News League? Is that the... Anyway,
something like that.
That works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
It's got legs.
Yeah.
Democrats seek psychologists' advice. This came out what feels like a year ago now, but it was actually
Last week.
January 24th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to bring this up, I think, last week or whatever, but I couldn't find it or remember it. But anyway, Democrats seek psychologists' advice on how Trump's authoritarian behavior. Just again, and this happened like at the same time that they were like, it's been a week since Trump laid out like 20,000 insane executive orders, and none of us have said anything about one of them. But now we're going to pick one of them and do a press conference. We're going to press conference about it. We're mad. We're mad. Like, you get to something a week late, you might as well not bother at this point. Like, no one's listening then.
What could they possibly do? You know, like when the Democrats are in power, they do all this stuff too, and the Republicans never show any resistance, and like the Democrats just push everything through like it's mandated by God, and the Republicans, you know, follow decorum and they don't like get in the way, so we should just, you know, not get in their way. Don't remember how
Turn the
Biden,
other cheek.
like, I mean, how Biden was. He went in with the mandate that nothing would change, and he like pushed that the whole time.
Yeah, I want to see. It'd be funny if the Republicans just did the same like parliamentarian bullshit, but that's not how they operate, obviously. But
Obviously,
whatever happened? Like, it's so funny that parliamentarian was like in the news real hard for a minute, and then somehow it never came up again for some reason.
Right.
It never stopped. It never got in the way of Democrats doing, you know, just sending hundreds and hundreds of weapons packages to Israel for the last 16 months.
Well, you don't want to burn out the gimmick, you know? That's why you only bring
Right.
it around sometimes.
Parliamentarians are a sometimes treat.
Yeah. The parliamentarian is like it's like Nuthouse Fargo for my wrestling fans. So in the Southern Territories in Mississippi, there was a Jackie Fargo. He's a very popular top level wrestler, right? But he had a cousin who would show up every now and then for the big time feuds against like the worst heels in town. They'd show around. He'd bring out his cousin, who was called Nuthouse Fargo. They kept him. He had to live in an insane asylum because he was too crazy. So he'd only show up sometimes, and they bring in Nuthouse Fargo, and that would be like for the big, you know, that's the parliamentarian. And the thing about Nuthouse Fargo is that his real job was he was a referee in a different territory. So he just like, the reason why they only brought him around sometimes is because he had another job somewhere else. But every now and then they'd bring him in for like the big stories. They'd be like, we're going to bring in They would be Rough House or it'd be Nuthouse Fargo. And it was like, he's crazy. We can't control him. We only bring him in like every couple months when like stuff is getting real bad. That's what the parliamentarian is. Like every now and then when shit gets real bad, we got to bring Nuthouse Parliamentarian. And he's going to go crazy on everyone because he can't be controlled because he's insane.
Let's see what else from this. Yeah, I guess they tried to subpoena Musk, but failed because Ro Khanna was late to work.
Oh no! Not Ro Khanna. He's one of the good ones.
That guy sucks ass.
Yeah.
He said, he's quote tweeting someone else here. Oversight Democrats just moved to subpoena Elon Musk. The motion failed 19-20, with Ro Khanna notably abstaining from the vote. Ro Khanna says, I would have voted yes. They called a procedural vote without notice, and I, like 8 others, throwing them under the bus, didn't make it there on time. Musk's attacks on our institutions are unconstitutional. Seems like you're you're distracting us from your tardiness with this.
Yeah.
He should be subpoenaed and answer to our committee. They should call the vote again with notice. Anyway,
Right.
I mean, that might even be whatever. I don't know. I just wanted to say Ro Khanna sucks. Basically,
Yeah.
It's maybe even the only
Where the fuck were
only
you?
reason I put
Where
that in
were
there.
you? He was doing some PR bullshit. He was doing a radio hit. He was on someone's fucking blog. That's the thing about Ro Khanna is like, I think his politics are fine, but he's so fucking sweaty and he's constantly doing like all the media he can. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't
Gotta
trust
do
him, 'cause
that
I'm just
hustle. Gotta grind.
Like, you're just trying to get attention for being like the most woke guy that you fucking missed. Woke central. Fucking let's subpoena Musk because you were too busy like whatever he going to the opening of an envelope. You know what I mean? He's like that level of congressman.
The fuck?
What happened?
You lose your headphones?
Yes. How is this possible?
I thought you had one in your ear.
You have one in your
one
ear.
in my ear, but I'm afraid it's gonna die, and I've been going between.
Did you put the other one in your charger?
But I can't find.
Sure, that makes sense.
I did,
Listen,
but I can't find the chargers.
Sometimes this is how podcast ends, not with a bang, but with a dead iPod. Or
It is true.
What the fuck? This is insane. Where did I put it? Where could I possibly have put it?
Look in your pockets. Did you check under your bed? Did you
freezer. Check the freezer.
Did you put it somewhere after school? Did you put it in a coffee cup?
This is wild. This is wild, fam. Where the fuck is it? Oh, got it.
Oh, perfect.
I probably
the
should.
charger was itself being charged, and it slid off my desk,
nice.
and it was dangling in midair on the cable. So, got it. We got it,
folks. We're good.
Let's end on
Positive
Jeff
note?
Tiedrick.
Oh yeah,
Jeff
of course.
Epstein?
That is a positive note.
Tell me about Jeff Tiedrick.
Ken Klippenstein tweeted, "Imagine having to be one of those Democrat Party hype accounts right now." He did not specifically reference Tiedrick, so it's so funny that Tiedrick found this and responded to it anyway.
He knows it's
Go
him.
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I'm not a Democratic hype account. To which someone responded
Olympus
with this
has
hilarious.
fallen.
Oh, that guy. I was actually having a hard time remembering who that guy was.
This is a Wendy's, man.
He is totally a Democrat hype account.
Oh, of course, he's literally number one. Look at the picture next to it.
You know who Jeff Tiedrick is? He is Andy Dick he's Andy Dick if they never invented dust off.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
He does look like him a lot. I used to think
looks like
I
him.
used to think his. Now that you say it, I totally see it. But I used to think he was fucking. Used to think it was a picture of Eric Clapton for the longest time.
Yes. I definitely agree
could
with
see
that
that.
as well. Yeah.
But yeah, someone posted this image. It says, "Look at him," and it's the Democracy Posse, paid social media influencers, all taking a big group photo together. Jeff Tiedrick and they all have numbers over their heads, and then a little key below with their handles or Twitter handles. Jeff Tiedrick is literally number one on the list of Democracy Posse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Actually, I mean, this is another really fast thing that we should truly end on is, GOP is pretty evil, but they're just having fun too. They're just trolling
around
a bit with hilarious laws they're writing up. Trump to be carved into Mount Rushmore and possibly to get a third term as president. They've actually submitted a bill in the House to actually, I want to actually read the language of it here. GOP proposal to add Trump to Mount Rushmore is part of a ridiculous pattern. You don't say, Steve Bannon. I wonder who that's what really is. I didn't.
Steve Bannon, no relation.
Steve Bannon's libtard alias.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it. I thought this had the actual bill in it. Whatever. Some fucking asshole wrote a bill that's like, Trump should be on Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
And then this guy goes into the history of Trump saying he would like to be on Mount Rushmore over the years. Yeah, Trump. He's quoting some conversation that Trump had with Kristi Noem back in the day, and Trump said, "Do you know what's my?" Because she's from South Dakota. Do you know it's my dream to have my face on Mount Rushmore? And no, she was telling this story, and she said he wasn't laughing, so he was totally serious.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Of course.
That's how. If you're not guffawing lavishly, you're clearly being serious. Those are the only two options in life. Is literally losing your shit, going insane, like you just heard Dave Chappelle say women be shopping, or just being stone-faced serious. Those are the only two things that happen.
And the other one was a proposal to try to get Trump a third term. Like they're trying. I don't have any fucking link to this one, but I remember it being talked about, and it was it was really funny because it was like they wanted to be able to make this happen or whatever. I mean, I think it's all kind of a joke. I think the person who even originated this one even said it was just like a troll move.
Sure.
But the technical language in it was like able to keep Obama from running again. It was like
nice.
This only applies to presidents after Trump or some shit.
Perfect.
I forget exactly what it was. It was like, it was only for non-consecutive terms.
Yeah. Which that was the thing. Remember I said that when I told you about like my my fucking ultra lib coworker. That was like that was their dream, right? But they knew about it. They said there's no rule that says a dog can't be president, and then when they wrote the law, they were like, no, we're gonna make sure that a dog can't be president. Yeah.
All right. That's a good enough place to wrap it up here. Trade war stuff had to be skipped, whatever. Everyone's probably heard enough about that to death. But some of this stuff I'll bring up later. There was some good stuff there. President Scheinbaum had a good, fuck you, America speech. But anyway, the tariffs are off. Everyone knows, blah, blah, blah. And we'll save some of this, but at what cost, China corner stuff for the future, because some of that stuff's pretty good. I'll just say, watch out. They're trying to ban DeepSeek, and if you live in, apparently Texas has already done it.
No.
All right. Generally recommending shit. Would anyone like to go first on this?
I can recommend some shit if you want me to.
Go for it.
I haven't been here in a while, so things that I've liked recently. My favorite album from 2024 was Water Still Flows by Rich Ruth, who is a composer from Nashville, Tennessee. Highly check it. Highly recommended. It's meditative, but also like angry and full of like just cosmic ambience and like cool like synth infused post-rock sounds with a bit of jazz. Very, very good stuff. I think both of you would like it. Water Still Flows by Rich Ruth. And the other, maybe my runner-up album of 2024, maybe this is albums like, right, it was right at the cusp, but Dollop Ghost had like this really cool album called May You Live Forever in Cowboy Heaven, which is also a Nashville band. So Rich Ruth, which is like weird, cosmic, post-rock, synth-infused stuff, and then there's Dollop Ghost that's like, I don't know, imagine like a mashup of like the Unicorns and the Moldy Peaches. They're pretty cool.
Sounds good.
I also liked some movies and shit, but I'm sure Josh has already talked about them. Nosferatu was a cool movie.
I haven't talked about it, but I agree. I liked Nosferatu.
I have to Jason, I mean, that album sounds perfect for me because, like I said, with the rules when it comes for me to listening to music, so the water will definitely still be flowing.
Squirt.
You're right. I think you'd like it.
I think I'll enjoy it.
I think both of you'd like it.
You got anything, Tim?
No, I just finished Deadwood. I liked the finish of that show. Just because it was like kind of a
wood.
It doesn't have to like mean anything. I like that. I like that the finish was like
Deadwood's so good.
I like that the end of Deadwood was like it doesn't fucking matter. Like it just nothing changes. The bad guy
just a cowboy town.
Yeah, the bad guy kind of wins. We all just keep going. We have our own thing. Whatever. I like that.
I need to.
Yeah. But then
I need to rewatch that show.
Then we've switched over to Severance. So far, I'm liking the new season, second season of Severance.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like more, it's more avant-garde. It seems a lot more like playing with everything that they've already set up in the first season. I appreciate that quite a bit. So
I think my biggest.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but just Severance. I almost wish I'd waited for every episode of season 2 to come out, just because I really do like watching them all in one go. But then having the weekly where I get to think about it every week's pretty nice too.
Yeah, I would have liked to have done that, but unfortunately, I was my hand was forced because I probably would have just waited and done it all at once. But then it was like, oh no, I want to watch it. You know how it goes. You know, fucking goddamn
same place, man.
No good goddamn rotten ball and chain. Am I right? Josh, you know about that. Give us your recommendations about fucking how much we all hate broads. Yeah.
There's a Deadwood movie.
I was thinking I should probably watch it. Yeah.
I need to watch it because I don't even know that I finished it. I think I must have just been like really drunk when I put it on.
I forgot that it came out. Actually, I did know there was one.
I heard, but I heard
wanted
that
to
it was
watch
like
it, and I never got around to watching it.
I gotta see for myself if it's good or not. I don't know. Just that's almost kind of a note to self there. But okay, I'll recommend a movie I watched in the movie theater. Is a revival screening of a movie called The Fall, which I'd never seen before. My girlfriend, cool. The broad that you referenced, she just bought the tickets for it, like kind of on a whim, and was like, "We're going to this." Man, thanks for getting my input. Anyway,
and you hated it.
It was it was surprisingly good. I remember like seeing the cover of it, like the DVD or whatever. Like
it was like a crazy cult classic. Now, past few years, it became a cult classic, right?
Well, I think that's right. And but specifically in Korea, it like she said it was basically like Korean film Twitter or something like blew it up, and it got so popular in Korea that the director came over and did some like Q&A event and screening and stuff. But it's this guy Tarsum. He goes by Tarsum Singh. I had seen one of his movies before, The Cell. Do you guys remember The Cell? The J-Lo serial killer psychological thriller movie, which was like widely like, just trashed as like being shit, which I didn't get around to seeing until like maybe a few years ago.
Honestly, could I say something?
Sure.
When you were talking about The Fall, I was looking up the horse scene. Then I realized the horse scene was from The Cell.
Actually, this guy's got a thing for horse violence because there's the beginning of The Fall begins with some horse stuff as well. It's not as violent as The Cell. The Cell like splits a horse in half.
Not just half.
The Cell rules.
Parts,
that's a great movie.
I think they're both cool movies. I saw them both in theaters because I'm fucking old.
You've
seen The Fall too.
Yeah, I like them both.
I haven't seen The Fall, but I remember The Cell fucking rocked. I thought that was a great movie. So yeah,
The Fall's better than The Cell.
Dumb. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it then.
I wanted to like The Cell, and I went into it with all the baggage of having heard people say that it's like kind of a trashy movie or something. But because I really like Vincent D'Onofrio as well. He's like the killer in that, right? And I don't know. Again, maybe I'll rewatch the Deadwood movie and The Cell and reevaluate because my memory is hazy on The Cell as well. I remember getting kind of tired of it towards the end or something where I was like, it was just doing kind of like serial killer movie tropes, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So I'll give it another shot. No. But yeah, The Fall was really cool. It's just like I would definitely recommend if you can see it on a huge screen to do that. Like it's just like every shot is really beautiful and it's like really colorful, and but also the story is pretty good too. It's basically like this guy is like paralyzed from like, I don't know, the waist down or something from he's like a stuntman in the old days of Hollywood. It's like in the 40s or something, and the bulk of the movie is like this narrative, this story that he's telling this girl, and it feels like a very wholesome movie, like for certain stretches, but then it's like, oh, this guy's trying to commit suicide, and he's just trying to get this girl to bring him like morphine pills. But it was really cool. It was surprisingly cool. Pleasant surprise, I'll say. So maybe check out The Fall. I will say, looking at his filmography, though, all his other movies look like shit. They don't look very good to me. But anyway, maybe I'd be wrong about those two. So, all right. What do we do next here? I tell you to go to the episode description and scroll down to where you can commiserate with us on Discord. Click that Discord link. Is my mic still in? Okay.
It is. Yeah, I can still hear you.
Click that link. Come on over to Discord, etc. in the show description. And Tim, tell us about your other podcast.
The other podcast, QNCR. I'm just whatever. It's back. We did an episode. We'll do another episode eventually here. It might be a little bit. The important thing is the Nicole Matthews 2024 retrospective. I would still recommend people check that out. I'm proud of it. It's a cool project that I've only done one other time. I'm thinking maybe I'll try to bring it back again. I won't wait another 5 years to do it again. Check that out. But you can find everything about that, all the kind of stuff that I'm doing with wrestling, talking, podcast, all of that at violentpeople.co. They're still working on the Violent People, Hall of Fame. Second edition just came out, and the Violent People best, top 100 wrestlers of the 2010s is still rolling. And then after that's done, we'll have the Violent People top 100 wrestlers of 2024 coming out soon. So
awesome.
Again, like I said, find everything you're looking for at violentpeople.co.
Nice. And I still need to listen to the epic episode. So
3.5 hours.
Another note to self, future self, editor self.
I can't blame anyone for not listening to it. It goes 3.5 hours, but again, I think it's one of the more interesting things you can do is to sit down with someone and talk about everything that they did in their career for an entire year, one by one, from beginning to end.
Real heads love the long podcasts, though. If you're into something, you can when I listen to like that movie podcast, Blank Check, they always go really long. And if it's a movie I like, and it's like, oh, this shit's like almost 4 hours long, I'm like, all right, good. I like that because I like hearing them talk about shit. But Jason, do you want to plug anything, or does your recommendations cover it?
I have no recommendations.
No plugs. No plugs.
No plugs.
Okay. You want to shout out a restaurant you like I did last week?
If you want to ask me anything, you can message me on the Discord that was mentioned. Yes. I will say to Britman, if you've made it this far, when I said I usually feel guilty, I want to clarify that I'm not talking about drinking Sapporo beer. I'm talking about just as a general state of being, I feel guilty.
Yeah, I thought you meant about drinking in general, but no, it's
no. I definitely
thing.
Just mean I feel guilty most of the time.
Unfortunately, Josh,
I'm glad we could end on a classic Jasonism there.
Jason, you just reminded me of all this stuff I want to talk about, union stuff. So now we have to get into this. But that is something that Britain did mention about the Sapporo beer, feeling guilty, whatever. Like, I get the question. I understand the idea, but if you know about like the craft beer world and how fucked up it is, like Sapporo breaking up the Anchor union is like really low on the list of fucked up shit that happens in the beer industry, that it's hard to like take that. I mean, I know that like people know about it, but like I can't take that seriously comparatively to how fucked up the beer industry is in general. Like the way that they treat employees, the way that they take advantage of people, the way that like, this is like a trademark, thing for me is like it's a vanity profession. A lot of people get into the beer industry because they're authentically very like exuberant about the idea of working in beer.
It's why I felt so cool when I got a job at a bookstore.
Exactly. People are like, they're into it. It's a cultural thing. They think that they're doing something like that they're interested in, so they're willing to get treated badly. So it's not, Sapporo is like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to like shitty beer industry stuff. So yeah, that's the kind of the answer on that. I also don't drink Sapporo beer or Anchor beer or any of that stuff at this point, but whatever. Even still.
I mean, I've basically quit drinking because I'm too lazy to walk to the store.
That's good.
This is true, folks. He tells me this regularly.
Nice.
They won't deliver it from coupon, so it's too hard to get beer.
You
Like
can't
if
get beer, you can't get alcohol delivered?
You can't deliver beer on coupon. That's probably the main reason I don't drink anymore.
Well, maybe I won't encourage you to find a better place. Also, folks, he lives 1 minute walk away from like 6 convenience
So
stores
fucking close.
that are open 24/7, selling all alcohol that you could ever want at all times of the day.
My walk to a convenience store is probably shorter than some people's walk to their basement.
Right.
Yeah, it's right there. All right. And as Joseph R. Word Biden always says, after baby Netanyahu calls Trump the greatest friend Israel has ever had, I tried so hard to love you like you wanted, Bibi. I'm the guy who freaked out the bloodthirsty terrorist, the Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin, Mac. I've been a hardcore Zionist for 80 years. And all for the love of the game. I would have done it for free, baby. Help me help you. Don't you dare walk out on me. I love you. I'll fucking kill myself if I see you calling him the best again. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry I yelled like that. I just love you so much. Come here. Got some sloppy top with your name on it. Good night. Good morning. Good luck. And good morning again, Vietnam. There, that's the show, folks.
Is one inside yourself for your father. All is love, all is none, none is one. Kindly fall back from behind you. The illusion has been just a dream. The valley of death cannot find you. Now is when on a sunshine beam. So bring all of your reflections, for there I will surely be. No cold and fear of hunger. You can't see, you can't see, you can't see.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?